Welcome to my channel, Collective. This portion of the channel is called From Within, Divine Feminine. Here I will be diving deep into the depths of spirituality, what it means, who we are, our practices, and so on. There's so much information and downloads that I receive on a daily basis. I've been trying to figure out how to properly deliver the information without causing any further harm to myself or humanity. I have reached a level of ascension now where I am ready to speak in the 3D realm, that is. If you know, then you know. I only ask that you be patient with me, for this is a lot of information to intake, but also a lot of information to put out. With that being said, let's dive in. What's up, family? So welcome back to From Within, Divine Feminine. Today the topic is chess, or the game of life, or the art of war, however you want to look at it. To me, it's all the same things. And so I wanted to kind of touch bases on this, because on this 4-year of going within, there are quite a few things that I noticed about the game of life, about the game of war. And a lot of these things are attached to the chess board game. Now, I don't really know how to play the board game. I never really sat down and tried to, but I'm quite sure that if I was to actually sit down and learn this game, learn how the pieces are supposed to be quote unquote moved, I would be a master at this game, because of the simple fact that I have mastered the game of life and the art of war. So let's talk about it. So I just want to get into it. But personally, me, where I stand at in my life, I feel like anybody that I choose to be attached to me, and anybody that I choose to have in my inner circle, I would consider them to be valuable. And if they were someone who wasn't of value, I would then make them a person of value to me. I would try my best to make them somebody that I would consider valuable. And so when it comes to sacrificing, like a lot of people, when I hear, because I speak to a lot of people who know the game of chess, and I've also watched a lot of movies with people with the game of chess in it, and I was able to pick up on a few things when it comes to the game in itself. And so I notice a lot that they feel as though the pawns should be sacrificed to. I personally feel, this is how I like to play the game that I like to play, because I like to make allies. I don't like to make enemies, even if it means that my opponent would be an ally. Doesn't mean we have to be all kissy kissy, hubby hubby, lubby lubby, dubby dubby. No, but it means that we have a mutual respect for one another. You know your boundaries, I know my boundaries. I respect you, you respect me. You stay the fuck out my way, and I stay the fuck out your way. Simple. And we both can eat. We both can live. We both can survive. This is my technique when it comes to war and when it comes to life. It's like a coexistent type of thing. And so when it comes down to my opponents, I have been dealing with I have dealt with a lot of things over the past couple of years, especially when it was spiritually. I was going through a very, very, very deep, a very meaningful, a very purposeful spiritual war. And this spiritual war, it was on a worldwide scale, to the point where I know how my energy is needed here. And so it just brought me to a realization that it made me understand. It made me want to go within and understand the spiritual realm more than this physical existence that we live in. That's supposed to be the reality. But if you are a person who have gone within, like myself, then you understand that the matrix is the physical reality. The real reality, it is in another world. It is out of this world. And this is the world where the laws apply, where the real laws apply, especially when it comes to having to exist in this physical realm. Because certain things, like certain laws, if certain spiritual laws are broken on your behalf, then the physical existence, it won't be as pleasurable as you think. In the love dissector, in the emotional dissector, we're not going to speak about financially because this is the material realm, and a lot of fucked up people. Okay, so we're just not going to talk about financially, because a person like myself, who is very pure-hearted, who is very how can I say, nice, I'm good to people, I'm honest, I'm loyal. A person like me, we have to work hard for our shit. We had to. I'm trying to cause a major shift when it comes to my kind, because technically nobody is really supposed to live in poverty, but it's a mind thing. Like, what do you want to work for? Things are not just supposed to be given to you. You're supposed to go out and at least do something. Like, sitting around doing a bunch of nothing. Find a purpose, find something that you love, find something that inspires you, find something that you're passionate about, and do that. Even if you do it for free, whatever the case is, even if you do it for free, if you're doing it for free and it's in your purpose and it's something that you love to do, the financial gain will come it'll come right behind it. So, yeah. But when it comes down to, just like, I feel like the game of chess, it is also a spiritual thing as well. It's the game of life. It's everything to me is connected. And again, the things that I speak about on this portion of my channel, it's mostly things that I have experienced, things that I have documented, things that I have lived, things that I have gained the wisdom from, analyze, things that I have really took the time to put together bit by bit and piece by piece, not only this lifetime but the last lifetime. That is why I have so much clarity and I stand so firm in the things that I speak about, because I am aware of the clarity. I am aware of the truth that lies within the things that I speak of. And so it's very hard to shake what it is that I believe or what it is that I have been through that have brought about the things that I choose to teach. So it's really hard to kind of get me off track. It's really hard to shift my mindset to the from what it is that I want to bring into the world. Okay, so anyway, I kind of went off again. Y'all know how I do, but let's continue to talk about it. So when it comes to the game of chess, so what I have noticed over the past couple of decades, and I know you guys are like, oh, decades, she's only 33. But like I said, I'm a spiritual being and I'm everywhere all the time. And so I know things that really don't even be my business. And I know things that, a lot of people don't know. And that's fine. So I just know, I know a lot. And so over the past couple of decades, or I want to say centuries, but how long is centuries? Is that like 100 years or some shit? I don't know, but we're gonna say, okay, so let's say we're gonna go back to my mom time. That's the farthest I'm gonna go back. Okay, so let's say from the 70s and the 80s, right? I noticed that there was this battle, right? At first the battle was man, woman, no, I said that wrong. So the first the battle was black and white, and once that was overcome, there was the battle of east and west. Like, it was the battle of, now instead of going race to race, we're gonna go race like the same race against each other, like brother against brother. Okay, yeah, okay, so I can say that. So first it was a race thing, black and white, and then it was a brother thing, East and West, South, Black, Crips and Bloods, and but if you notice, this war was between the same. It was all one race. Once the blacks overcame the war of being depressed, it was then pushed to okay, well, since y'all overcome this depressed state, now we're gonna turn you against each other. And so it was the battle between brothers. And now, since that war has been overcome, and I hate to have to say it, but it was overcome by getting them to fall in love with each other, which is insane. But it was a move that was set into motion. So to start the war from brother and brother going against each other, you make them fall in love with each other. This is going to take their masculinity away, and now it's going to be against man and woman. So this is the war, the war between man and woman, queen and king. This war is the war that brought about judgment, because at the end of the day, woman was made for man. Man made woman. And so man made woman. Woman came from man. And so man made woman to be with him, to nurture him, to be. It's all a big mind fuck. But when you think about it, it all makes sense. And so we as a people, not as a race, not as different nations, not as different religions, no, but we as one nation under God, we have one rule to abide by, and that is to love. That is to love one another. So this one rule, the fact that it was broken between nations, we're going to say nations. So the fact that it was broken between nations, okay, that's one step. Now you break it, you take it and you break it down between that one nation, and you separate the people that are within one nation. That's even more separation. Now what? And then you take the third step, and the third step is to not only are the nations were broken, but the nations were broken apart and separated to become 12 nations. But now the 12 nations, within all of the 12 nations, there's separation because of religion, because of spirituality. I mostly want to say religion. I don't know why my spirit guides are telling me to say that, but yeah. So and now that not only are the nations were separated, but now within the nations are separated. So then it was all about family. And then the next step was to break the people down as a family. So it's like, okay, so now you separate. Now first the nations are separated, and then the brothers are separated, and now the husband and the wife is trying to be separated. And then what is going to come after that? There is nothing after that. There's destruction after that. And this is what God is not having, because the strongest connection is the connection between man and woman. Why? Because they produce life. They keep life going. They the power within the both of them, it when it's combined and when it's put together to become one, it creates another one. It's like a how can I say? I don't know, but what I'm trying to say is this is where the problem came in. Now the timeline it's a bit shaky for me. Like I said, I'm only going far back as to the 70s, where the brothers were. Anyways, yeah. So I'm just trying to stay on track because it's coming in hot. Okay, and so the war between man and woman is what has caused Mother Earth and Father Sky to react in a way that is that has been prophesied. Okay, I'm gonna just say it like that. That has been prophesied. It's causing all of these natural disasters. It's causing all of these these things that have that the world has been waiting on, because it has been written. Whether it was written by man or God, it was written inside of a book, and so somebody foresaw this coming. And with that being said, the person that foresaw it coming, all right, yeah, so I'm not gonna go there. All right, so yeah, it was written, and now all of these things are being brought to the forefront. And so this has been the biggest war to ever face mankind, and it is the one war that will cause us to self-destruct because of the severity of it. If man doesn't respect woman and woman doesn't respect man, where is the peace? Where is the happiness? Where do we stand with the world that is unbalanced? The unbalanced energy of the male and the female that tend to separate and divide. This has been the worst division that we have ever faced, and this is because we were created to be together. We were created to stand together. This is what this is how it all started. It didn't start with two men. It didn't start with two women. We're talking about mankind here. We're not talking about the spiritual realm. That's a whole nother different type of story. One day I may, get a topic on that. But right now we're talking about humankind, mankind. It started with man and it started with woman. This is how we reproduce. This is how we multiply. This is how we became a nation. And so, if this was the beginning, so the beginning of time, it started with man and woman, and the end of time, it will end with man and woman. Come on, it makes sense. You have to make it make sense, because if you all don't pay attention to what is right in front of you, you will self-destruct. Not only will you self-destruct, even if you don't self-destruct, Mother Earth and Father God, they will, it's real out here in these streets. And I just want my people, and when I speak on my people, I speak on all people, to be aware of their energy. I need them to be aware of their neighbor's energy, whether that's man or woman, because this is just not going to happen, with the men wanting to be women. If that's what you choose to do, then that's fine. But what you're not going to do is go and try to fight a woman because you think you are one of her. You're not. Physically, you're not. Physically, you're built to be stronger than a woman. So technically, you probably can beat her ass to sleep. So why would you feel as though you can put your hands on a woman? If you want to be that, then that's fine. Choose that. That's your choice. That's your free will. But you cross the line when you feel as though you are equal to a woman, because that's just not the case. That's just not the fucking case. Everybody needs to know their roles. Everybody needs to know their roles. They need to respect their roles, and they need to respect their roles of the person next to them. It's simple. That is it, and that is all. Because when it comes down to it, you just because you want to be, that's like even on the reverse side of it, a woman that wants to be a man. If you're a woman and you want to be a man, that does not mean you can go out and just disrespect the man, because at the end of the day, that's still a man. And men, their energy, it demands respect, especially if it's a man who already feels less than a man. That is the man that's most likely going to punch you in your shit. Why? Because he already feels less than. And now he has somebody who is technically supposed to be less than him trying to overpower him. This is what causes a lot of tension. Because, okay, you want to be a man, that's fine. If you want to portray yourself as that, that's fine. But you do not try to fight a man. Why? And then you're sitting around with the you a ass face. You're stuck in the face looking dumb because this man has slapped the living taste out of your mouth for disrespecting him. Is he right? No, of course not. Because technically, he's not supposed to put his hands on you. But at the end of the day, it's provoking. It's a provoking energy. So you want to come at me like your man? Okay, so I'm going to show you what it means to be a man. This is how they think. So, I really be going on track, y'all. The topic be one thing, but my point, I choose my topics based off a couple of different things. Most of it's downloads. When Spirit tells me to write something down, I write it down. I jot down different ball points on what I'm getting from the download, and then I put my experience into it. So y'all just try to bear with me. But yeah, this is how I feel about that. So yeah, you have free will. Yeah, you can do whatever it is that you choose to do with your life. But at the end of the day, you need to know your role when it comes to the existence inside of this physical realm. Even if you are someone like myself, I truly, deeply feel as though my spirit is more masculine than it is feminine. But I am inside of a feminine body. And so I respect the physical realm as such. You understand? I think this is where a lot of the confusion comes in because of the reincarnation and the incarnation cycle. And if you follow me, you know the difference. I feel that there is a difference. Reincarnation is forced, incarnation is natural. And so when a lot of us a lot of us has been here a lot of times, like since the beginning of time, and some of them are new souls. And so you do have masculine souls that are inside a feminine body, and they happen to have been a woman in the last life. And so when they come here inside, they may have resonated more with that woman inside because of their spirit being a woman. But if they come here inside of a man's vessel, they feel this feminine energy and this feminine urge to want to be a woman, or feeling as if they are a woman. This is where the gender, what is it called? This is where what is it called? This is where people find it to where they want to do or they want to be a certain race. This is because this is what their soul resonates with. But at the end of the day, people need to become aware of who they are. Just because you feel something, it doesn't mean that it just doesn't mean that. Like you are in like the spiritual and the physical world. They do coincide together, but there is a separation. You have to be able to separate the two. You have to be able to combine them, but to also keep them separate. And this is what I had to learn this lifetime. Like, okay, one of the things that make me realize that I have I'm more in tune with my masculine soul is because I love women. Like, I love women. Like, I look at women, like I love their shapes, I love their beauty, I love everything about a woman. But I'm not like sexually attracted to them, like in that type of way. At one point in my life, I may have experimented and did my 1-2s, and lived my human experience, but I've come to respect my vessel as what it is. And I know I'm a woman, and I know I belong with a man. And so, this is duality. And I feel like my true counterpart, my divine masculine, he has a feminine soul, but he's in a male body. And so this is why I do feel as though I'm on a twin flame journey. But the twin flame journey, it's kind of confusing because of the duality, because of me having a man's soul and him having a woman's soul. But I'm in the woman's body and he's in the man's body. And so when it comes time for us to connect, it's a clash. It's a big clash because he may have lived a life of not knowing himself, not really knowing what it is that he truly desires or wants to be. And so he may have experience with men, and this may have made him confused. Even if he didn't, I'm just saying, I'm just speaking, but even if he has, it's but that's because he operates more out of his feminine energy than he wants to, and he doesn't know how to how could I say, he doesn't know how to balance the two. He's overly masculine, but only because he is overly feminine. It's like an overflow of energy. Like, it's not balanced. It's too much of both of them. Like, he's too emotional, or he's too independent, or he's too egotistical, or he's not loving enough. It's like it's unbalanced. It's a great unbalance. I know who my twin flame is. I'm very aware of it because I know the connection, and I know what it feels like. But I'm at a point on my journey now, and I'm really not gonna sit here and get emotional, but I'm at a point now on my journey because I have been, trying so hard to walk the twin flame journey and everything, to bring balance to the world when it comes to man and woman. But that shit is painful. It can be painful because you're trying to save someone who ultimately was raised to believe that you are their enemy. That is one of the hardest battles that I've ever had to face. And before I lose myself again trying to save someone who doesn't want to be saved or is not ready to be saved, I'll let them go. And that's just that would be for my sanity and my balance. If I have to complete the mission on my own, then so be it. It can be done because I have both the masculine and the feminine energy to get the job done. I have it within me to get the job done. So technically, I don't need you. I don't need you to do any, really. Because of the balance that I have found within myself, I don't need you to help me do that. Because I can do it on my own. I have put in enough work to do it on my own. But anyway, this is not this is not supposed to be real, like, personal like that. So I'm going to just get off of that. So let's get back to the game of chess. Because this is, I'm about to get to the part that I really wanted to get to, because I didn't want to go over 30 minutes with the storage on my phone, but let's try to I'm going to try to end it out at least 40, 45. So, when it comes down to sacrificing the queen, I don't know if it's called the Queen Gambit. What is it called? Drop down in the comment section. What is it called when the king sacrifices the queen in hopes of there being other options? Now, don't get me wrong. If you are a well-skilled king, if you are skilled at the game of life, and you know that your queen is skilled at the game of life, then yeah. I mean, it's a power move. I'm gonna tell you why it's a power move. Because the queen is so powerful. The queen is the most powerful piece on the board. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. We understand the king and all of the shit that he got to do. Okay, I understand that. But when it comes down to it, the queen is the most powerful piece on the board, because the man made the queen. Because the queen is more connected spiritually than the man. And so when it comes, like, okay, I feel as though if you don't feel like your queen can face the battles that are going to come against her by you sacrificing her, I'm only telling y'all this because I experienced it. It happened to me. And so it triggered something not only in me, but it triggered something in my life, in my the chess game that I live and I walk in. Me being sacrificed by my king, it caused a ripple effect, not only to protect me, but the love, I chose love and not war with him. The fact that what he did, it could have taken me out, but because of who I am in spirit, it just couldn't happen. And so the strength within me and the love within me, it chose love over war. I said, okay, well, if you all right, so I guess I could say it. If you all been following me since the beginning of the channel, then you know that I was in a car accident in 2021. And after this accident, as I was sitting in the hospital bed, this accident, it triggered an awakening within me. It triggered something inside of me. Something very, very, very powerful. And so I started to receive a lot of information. I started to hear a lot of different things with my mind. It wasn't like with my ears or anything. It was something out of this world that I was starting to hear and experience and see. And so with this happening to me, I was faced with the decision, love or war. Now, had I had chose war with my counterpart, then it probably would have ended the world, because our energy, both of our energies, it's very, very powerful, especially when it comes together and it combines. It's very powerful, but it has its own potency when it's separated as well. They defend each other spiritually. They defend each other spiritually. And so the physical realm, it like I said, they coexist, but one is oh gosh. Y'all bear with me, Lord. Okay, so like I was saying, if you know that your queen holds power, right, and spiritual rank, then sacrificing her, it would be a power move, because not only will it take out her enemies, but it will take out your enemies as well. Now, because of y'all energies being so connected, it won't take you out. It'll only cause you to receive karma. Like, you'll receive really bad, fucked up karma. A lot of things will start to go bad in your life, but you can't take this person out. I don't care what nobody says. Like, you can try. Yeah, it's just not gonna happen, especially if they're high ranking. And so if you do choose to sacrifice your queen, her energy, it is going to trigger something in the earth, within the universe, within the energy field, that is going to it's now going to defend her, especially if she was innocent. If you can't just be sacrificing people, especially innocent people, especially pure-hearted people, because it triggers something inside of like Final Destination. Like, it triggers something it triggers something in the unknown to start to defend them, to defend their honor, to defend their spirit, to defend their energy, to protect them. This is what it means. This is what universal laws are. This is why spiritual laws are becoming more prominent now here in the physical realm, because of the triggering, because of the effects that are starting to happen due to sacrifices that are unwarranted. And people in high places are becoming very aware of this. If they aren't, they should be, because this is deep. Not only is it deep, but this is dangerous. Not only is this dangerous, but this is this is power. This is what it means to hold power. And a person of power is not someone who brags about their power. There's just somebody who embodies it. It's okay. Yeah. All right. So So to me, the queen, she pretty much protects the king spiritually. And the king is supposed to protect the queen emotionally, financially, and physically. So yes, the king may have more of a job to do, but his job is not more important than what the queen does, because the spiritual aspect of life, it is the reality. That's plain. That's just, it is the real reality. So when the queen has to protect the king spiritually and financially and physically and emotionally, the male is to protect the queen. He is to make her feel safe. He is to make her feel content, loved, protected, guided. So it's, I don't know, when it comes to a lot of I don't know. I just don't believe in the whole sacrificing thing. But anyways, before I close it out, we almost at 40, y'all. So I just want to tell y'all something else, right? So as I'm walking this journey, and when I took a nosedive into my dark night of the soul in 2020, I ended up moving to Georgia. If you watch the previous videos, like my very, very first videos, then you know the story of that. But I ended up moving to Georgia, and this is not when I actually noticed how important teeth are, but I had to eventually travel back to this memory to put the pieces together. And maybe in like 2022 is when I actually gathered the information about the teeth. But I went back to 2021 and I was like, oh, that's why that happened, and that, and that, and that, and that. So with teeth, right? With the teeth represent your life. I feel as though the teeth represent like certain people in your life, like certain it's like the game of chess. Like the teeth play a big part in the game of chess. I don't know if you ever like look, once you had a tooth pulled out, have you ever looked at what it looks like, and you know, whatever. I have. I looked at mine when I was going through something with my twin flame in 2022, not right after, but no, this was before. So before the car accident in 2000. Okay, so 2021 is when I noticed it. So I was going through something, and I was aware of the energy. I was already awakening. I was already going through this spiritual experience. And so I was having this really bad fucking toothache. And usually when you're having a toothache, that means that whoever is in your life that is causing you problems, that is what that tooth represents. And so if you pull the tooth out, you release this person from your life, from your energy field. And it's very, very important what you do with this tooth. It's very important. See, a lot of people don't know. If you notice, a lot of dentists, they're not from this country. Most of them are Haitian or Jamaican. I don't know what I do know, but it's not my place. But there's a significance in that. Only because in 2020 I had this experience. 2019, the end of 2019, I had this experience with this guy that I was meeting, this right before I started this really deep spiritual awakening. And some guy from Haiti wrote me, and he was like, oh, something. And so he was supposed to be connected to somebody that I knew, and then he was supposed to be doing this ritual. But when he sent me this video of this fucking ritual, that's another story for another day. Yeah, I'm an open book, and I am in the midst of writing like 3 or 4 books. So eventually, I'll be able to express all of these things. But back to what I was saying. So, okay, this, I was with my counterpart, and I was having this really bad toothache. Like, it was fucking painful. Like, it was just really, 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 really bad. And my twin flame, he just happens to be of another race. And so it was just fucked up. And I really didn't want to pull the tooth, but I couldn't take the pain. It was just so much pain. I just couldn't take it. So I ended up going, I spent I think I spent my last $300 on getting this tooth pulled. I just really needed it out. And so I went to this guy, this dentist. He happened to be of the Haitian descent. Really nice guy, so sweet, so loving. And he pulled the tooth. Now, this is what made me realize, 11:22 on the clock, y'all. Thank you, spirit guides. I'm just saying. So as this guy when he pulled the tooth out and he sat it on the thing next to me, I turned over and I looked at it. Mind you, okay, I'm gonna go back to in 2022 where I had to get a tooth pulled then from the other guy that I was dating who tried to sacrifice me. But right now we're gonna stay here with my counterpart. So when I looked at the tooth, this is when I realized that he was my actual real counterpart. When I realized that this is my guy, I looked at that tooth. It was shaped like a K, like the inside of it, not like the part that's on top of the, like what the reality of it was, like the tooth. Okay, so the mouth, the part that's on the top that you can look in the mirror and you smell, the part that you see, that's like the physical reality, right? That's like that's the physical reality of your life, your game of chess. But the part that's underneath, the root of it that goes and that's inside of your gum, that's the spiritual aspect of it. And so when I looked at that part of the tooth, the part that goes that was inside of my gum, it was shaped. It was it was my wisdom tooth. It was my wisdom tooth, and it was shaped like a K on the spiritual part of it, the part that was inside of my gum. And so I was like, okay, well, the tooth was, it had not fully decayed, but it was like a hole in it, and it was hitting my nerve. It was just fucking with my nerve real bad. And so I knew I had to get it pulled because it was causing me, like, I had to work, I had to do things. It was just like really, really, I just couldn't take it. So I ended up pulling it out. Now the guy, he wanted to keep the tooth, but I was like, no, give it to me. I'm going to keep it. I don't know why my spirit told me to do that, but I wanted to keep the tooth with me because I knew the significance in which it held. And well, I felt this, it was a feeling. It was like a feeling of significance. It was like I was connected to this tooth. I don't know what it was about, but I didn't want the guy to keep it because I wasn't sure what he was going to do with it. And so I kept it for myself. I bagged it up. I did what I did, and I put it inside my pillowcase. Like, I slept with it every night. Don't call me weird if you want, but I did it for a specific reason. All right. So now, during this time, when I saw the K on that tooth, I then thought back to the tooth that I had gotten pulled the year prior. Now, the year prior, I was dating this guy of Jamaican descent in Georgia, and this guy was very deceitful. It was like one of the worst experiences I had ever had in my entire life. I may have traveled out of the country on the physical aspect of it. It looked as if it was daisies and rainbows and unicorns, but on the spiritual aspect of it, it was the biggest spiritual attack that I have ever faced. And I started to have this toothache, and this was right around the time that he was trying to, do his whole little big thing to get where he needed to be or wanted to be. And so when I had this toothache, then I was told to leave. I was told to pack my shit and leave. So I ended up leaving and coming back to Florida to get the tooth pulled. Now when I looked at this tooth, that I had pulled, because I remember looking at it, and I looked at it, it was shaped like a pond, you know, like how a pawn, the piece of the pawn is shaped, it was like that. It wasn't round because, you know, it did have to go inside of the tooth. It was more like sharp. It was like a I want to say triangle, but not really. It was like a cone, but it wasn't round. Like it, you could say it was a pawn. That's like the tooth that I pulled from my counterpart. It wasn't like it was a K, but it was a backwards K. It was like it had the line, and then you know how the K has the V. The V was backward, but you can tell that it was a K. It's all about how you look at things, and so when I thought about it and I looked back, it was like, okay, well, this part of my tooth, that tooth that I got pulled, then it was like it looked like a pawn. Now, the guy who I was in Georgia with, this tooth, this guy tried to portray himself as my king, as my counterpart, as my twin flame. He tried to make it seem as though he was my guy. But he was so deceitful. Like, he was doing things behind the scenes that was just not right. And I can feel it. I can see it. I'm very gifted. And so I was able to notice certain things that just wasn't sitting well with me. And, yeah. And then it made me go back to a lot of years just to realize and to pay attention to whenever I had to get a tooth pulled. And when it's time for you to get that tooth pulled, that means that person is supposed to be released. You are supposed to release that person because this person is going to harm you. They're trying to harm you. And if you continue to stay connected to it, it's going to continue to cause you pain. That's like, you know, the nerve, like if something gets inside of this tooth and it hits that nerve, it's going to cause you a lot of pain. So it's like, you know, people should just start paying attention to when they're having toothaches and stop trying to be attached to something. You can still talk, you can still eat, get that tooth out your mouth, because this person is not going to be as above, so below. So if you pull this out of your mouth now, eventually this person is going to die, they're going to be released from your cycle of life, because that's just the flow of things. But I think, and my counterpart is still sort of connected to me. He is. Not no more. I'm not gonna lie. This is why I got emotional earlier in the discussion, because I'm just now coming to the realization that I'm going to have to release him, because he, like, where I'm at on my journey, I require change. I require a person to treat me how I'm supposed to be treated, not like how the old me. No, this is a new me. And so I'm demanding a different type of respect. I'm demanding boundaries. I'm demanding that you treat me how I want to be treated, or I have to release you, because I have started to treat myself in a way that I respect myself. And so if I'm doing that for me, I expect that from you. And if you can't do that for me, then I have to release you. I don't care how much I love you. I don't care how much we're connected. I don't care about none of that. At the end of the day, whatever I have to do that is my purpose, I will get it done, with or without you. And I have come to this conclusion, and it's all good. It's all good over here, you know. So I'm going to end it out now, because I'm over my 45 minutes. I'll probably touch bases on this again in the future, especially when I start doing my lives and my podcast, and I start to openly, you know, accept advice, you know, and talk about the subject openly for people who actually are into this type of thing. I do plan on expanding this what I'm doing here now. So I want to thank you all for listening. Please, if you resonate with anything in this discussion, hit the like button for me on your way out. Comment down below, drop a few hearts down below. subscribe for me because it gets real over here, and I have so many different topics, like so many different things that I want to dive into, and I would love for you all to tune in, especially when I start going live, because I want to chat with everyone. Like, I love debates, I love like-minded people, I love to converse, and so let's talk about it. Hit the like button for me, subscribe, drop a comment down below. Check out my website. I will be dropping some new things, some new products, some new clothing within the next couple of months. I also will be dropping my first self-published book within the next couple of months. So tap in. Thank you. Sending you all peace, love, light, understanding, wisdom, and knowledge. Peace.